Today is Friday, January 19th, and I'm just wondering what the near future of the Dallas Cowboys holds.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
What's damaged your roof? Hail, water, wind, maybe just age. Oh Hail Roofing is where to turn. They've provided the best options, advice, and solutions, be it residential or commercial. For more than a decade now, you can trust Oh Hail to restore your property expertly. Oh Hail. That's OHHHAIL. OHail.com. With seasonings, there seem to be so many, and then they just sit in your spice cabinet forever. That's not true of Goodness Steak Seasoning. I know the name steak suggests that it's very good on steak, which it is, but Goodness Steak Seasoning is so versatile. Use it on veggies, burgers, soups, even popcorn. Get it by going to the website bringthetasty.com. Goodness, this seasoning is good. Before we get to the Cowboys, two interesting, maybe disturbing facts related to the Cowboys. Dallas opened that spiffy new AT&T Stadium in 2009 to be the home of the Cowboys. And in the 15 seasons since, the Green Bay Packers have won more playoff games in that stadium than have the Cowboys. And this weekend is the quarterfinals of the NFL. There are 8 teams in action. We've got Houston at Baltimore, Green Bay at San Francisco, Tampa at Detroit, and Kansas City at Buffalo. All 8 of those starting quarterbacks in the quarterfinals this weekend are younger than the Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott. Now, on to the Cowboys. The news broke Thursday that Dallas was keeping Mike McCarthy as their head coach. And it's just a matter of time before the Cowboys also extend Dak Prescott's contract. Now, the news about Coach Big Mac staying probably surprised a lot of people. But when you think about it, it isn't all that surprising. On our Wednesday podcast, we said that McCarthy would stay as the head coach of the Cowboys. And the overriding reason I believe that there'll be no change with the Cowboys this year, the age of the owner. Jerry Jones is 81 years old. The last time the Cowboys made it to an NFC Championship game, he was 53. And a whole lot of Johnny Walker Blue has flowed under that bridge since then. The point being, Jerry may well think of himself as too old to start over. And besides, who starts over on a team that's won 12 regular season games each of the last 3 years? McCarthy's gone a very, very good 36-15 the last 3 regular seasons. But the problem? The Cowboys' belief that those regular season accomplishments would be a springboard to playoff success, that's been untrue. They are only 1-3 in the playoffs the last 3 years, and that one win, they beat a Tampa team that finished under 500, 8-9, and yet got the championship of the cream puff soft NFC South. The last 9 years in the playoffs, the Cowboys have a grand total of 1 win over a winning team. 1. But now back to Jerry. In keeping Coach McCarthy, he said, the Cowboys are, and I will use this quote, we're very close to achieving our ultimate goals. Hey, that's the problem for Cowboy fans. They're very close. Very close only counts in high school dances. It doesn't get you there in the National Football League. They've been close for 3 years, and loads of other teams now look at themselves as close. San Francisco, Detroit, Green Bay, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, Jacksonville, Kansas City, and Buffalo. They're all very close. But what were Jerry's choices? Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick has a fantastic resume. He's had an outrageously good career. But you look at the last 3 years in New England, they've been awful. And Belichick hasn't been able to fix it. And his hand-picked choice at quarterback, Mac Jones, seemed to go backwards in his 3 years there. And if Belichick had come here, wouldn't he have insisted on having his own staff with him here? Jerry's very fond of asking new head coaches to keep other assistants on. Remember, he did that with Wade Phillips, asking Jason Garrett to stay. And he did that with McCarthy, asking that Kellen Moore be allowed to stay. And what were the other choices? Mike Vrabel? Pete Carroll? Dan Quinn? Can you honestly say they'd be better as a head coach of this team? Jerry's age also may be behind the extension of Dak's contract. He's boxed in here. Dak is due $59.5 million next year. The Cowboys cap simply can't tolerate that. They're going to extend Dak and reduce his hit on the salary cap. And they need that salary cap hit reduced. Because next year, the Cowboys will pay Zach Martin, $28 million. DeMarcus Lawrence, $20 million. CeeDee Lamb, $18 million. Trevon Diggs, $16 million. Terrence Steele, $11 million. Brandon Cooks, $10 million. And Michael Gallup, $13 million. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, they can cut Gallup. No, that doesn't give them savings under the cap if they cut Gallup. Jerry's correct. This club is very close. But a lot of teams have been and are now very close. In order to go further, in order to get closer, if you will, I think the Cowboys have to fix this offense. And Mike McCarthy is an offensive coach. Now, I know all the huge numbers the Cowboys offense put up this year. But let's look at those a little more closely. Take out the Washington game at the end of the season, because Washington they had 1 foot on the bus when the game began. If you take that game out of the figuring, Cowboys then played 4 winning teams the other 4 weeks of the season. Buffalo, Detroit, Miami, and Green Bay. The offense produced 10 points, 20, 20, and 16 in 3 quarters against the Packers. And the last 2 playoff exits, the last 2 years, against San Francisco, the offense scored 17 points and then 12. Somehow, you look at those numbers and you don't get the feeling of being very close.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, by Oh Hell Roofing, and by Goodness Steak Seasoning.
Just Wondering is a production of DSP Media for FanStream Sports. You can find Norm's show along with other great programming at fanstreamsports.com.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. If you enjoyed it, please hit follow. Then each episode every weekday will be delivered straight to you. And if we might ask one more favor, please share it with friends. I'm Norm Hitzges, and every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.